Okay, so I gave you 10 reasons before, plus whatever. Now I'll give you 5 reasons why you shouldn't come to Japan as an engineer or in general. But there's probably more or less than 5, but it's good for the algorithm. 5 or 10 people tend to like those numbers. But anyway, if you are and I've seen this when I was teaching, and if you are a complainer of society, or if you are a strongly opinionated about how the world should be, and you come from a Western background, or this kind of New Zealand, Australia, America, you probably won't enjoy Japan, because there are, and I think maybe not even just Japan, but the world in general you won't enjoy, because you'll find out, what? There's 130 million people in Japan and they don't think like me? If you live in a bubble in your city, which I'm not trying to be mean, but escaping the bubble, you'll be slapped in the face. And whatever you think is correct or whatever you believe in, sorry, they don't do it here. You go to Vietnam, there's 90 million and growing. They're growing quite a lot. 90 million people. There are 4 million people in New Zealand, and I come from Auckland. It's 1 million people, and you think you come from a city of 1 million people, and your opinion is the correct opinion of the world. It's no, there's hundreds of millions of there's billions of people, and then your small Twitter mind, your Twitter and Quora, Reddit mind is not the reality. And I don't want to go political into ideologies and all that stuff, but if you can't handle some hard realities, you probably shouldn't. You should just stay in your bubble, if this makes sense. If you don't like learning languages, yeah, that's pretty hard here. I've seen guys leave because they just couldn't, because they can't speak it. And when you can't speak it, you can't make friends. You see, so if you suck at learning, or maybe not suck, because even I suck at learning languages, but if you can't or don't want to learn a language, you probably shouldn't go anywhere besides your hometown. I'm not trying to make fun of people or be mean, but yeah, that's just the way it is. Imagine going to, Samoa and not wanting to speak Samoan. And there are people who come with that mindset. Everyone must speak English. It's no, most people don't. Most people in the world don't. So, yeah, learn the language. Okay, another reason is, and this is a serious one now, there's a sex guy in the background. If you're scared of earthquakes, really, this is a terrible place to be. I was here during the earthquake 11 or 10 years, 2011, and I left New Zealand for 2 weeks. That's how crazy it was. I was so scary, not just the earthquake, but the, what do you call it, the genpatsu, nuclear, whatever it was. So the reason is, suddenly an earthquake can hit in your house, and then you feel a shake. And if you feel a shake, you might be so scared. I am, even now I get scared, so I feel, shit, it's happening. So there's meant to be a big earthquake anytime soon. So that's enough to scare anyone. So if you're scared of earthquakes, yeah, it happens all the time. And sometimes it's pretty aggressive shakes, And especially lately, this past year, there's been quite a few small or medium-sized earthquakes around Tokyo. So if you really hate earthquakes, you probably shouldn't come. Coming from where I come from, and maybe where many of you come from, space is abundant. There's space everywhere. Here, I'm in a outdoors area, but in general, you will live in small boxes. So for 11 years plus, I've been living in small boxes. Even in Tokyo, that is, right, Tokyo. But even in other cities, everything's small. The rent, you can spend $1,000 on rent and still have just a small box. So I've been living in $1,000 small boxes, $1,000 per month boxes in Tokyo for quite a long time now. So if you don't like that, and if you commute to work, you'll be commuting obviously on train. The morning train sucks, and that's why that's one of my freelance reasons. I don't want to go to the office. They will push you in at rush hours in the morning, and it's kind of normal. Everyone bumps into each other. Yeah, I just don't take the train. I don't take, especially busy trains. I prefer to take a cycle or walk, even if it's half an hour. So if you don't like, if you're claustrophobic and all that, I mean, claustrophobics a bit too much. But if you really need space, you can't really live in Tokyo. You'd have to go out to the countryside a bit. And then once you go to the countryside, maybe your options for work will decrease quite a lot. And the next reason you shouldn't come is weather. Weather sucks, and it also doesn't. It sucks. So today is at 33 degrees Celsius. I don't know if you guys do Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is. 33 degrees Celsius, and the humidity is off. It's just maximum humidity. You sweat. You sweat when you sit. You sweat when you talk. You just sweat. So the summertime. So in Japan, there's 4 seasons, and each season is extremely that season. In summertime, it's hot and humid. The sex guy's really killing my mood. So that's like that. The other seasons, I don't know, but winter is cold and it sometimes snows in Tokyo. So the seasons are kind of extreme. You also see some people who have skin conditions. It gets worse in Japan because it's the weather's so harsh. If you have a skin condition, it'll just increase the sensitivity of your skin. You might get more rashes and stuff. So the extreme weather, it's good for holidays. So if you're going on a holiday at the right season, at the right location, it's perfect. Hokkaido in winter, Okinawa in the summertime. But then again, you have typhoons, wet, rainy season for like 2 months. So I'm sure there are more weather, human-friendly places in the world. Japan's not one of them. Weather's all over the place. And the last, most important reason why you shouldn't is the pancakes are terrible, unless you go to Okinawa. I've had pancakes all over Japan, especially Tokyo. They are terrible. So you'll be paying $15 or so for pancakes, and they all look all cute, and they have all the fun things on them, but they don't taste like pancakes. They taste like, you know, high school students that practice cooking, and then they send it back home, and they ask someone to taste it, their parents, and they go, "What do you think?" And the parents like, It tastes like high school kids are trying to make pancakes. That's what it tastes like in Tokyo. If you have ever experienced bad pancakes, please let me know. And so that's probably the main reasons you shouldn't come. There are probably a million more reasons. And to be honest, just choose one reason not to come, and then just not come because of that reason, or choose one reason why you want to come and come because of that reason. Does that make sense? I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.